Hey, it's Marty, and I am here with Dylan Schneider. Of course, Hot Country Nights tonight.
Yes, sir.
You and Ernest tonight.
Yes, sir.
Have you guys ever played together before?
We've done a couple of festivals together, I think. We know each other. You know, we go back, and we have a lot of mutual friends, but this might be one of our first shows in a couple of years, so I'm excited.
That's crazy. Well, last week we were together in Nashville, and we got to meet Richie McDonald.
Yes.
From Lone Star, lead singer. Dude, that was nuts. Crazy.
So cool, man. I immediately got in the car and started listening to some of their old songs and just thinking back, you know, to like when that shit was playing on like the radio with my parents and everything. And it was cool, man. It was such a cool thing to meet him.
Yeah, I think you and I were talking about this, like being nervous to meet an artist. And I was like, I'm really never, but it was Richie McDonald from Lone Star. You kind of get a little, but is there an artist for you that you've met that you're like, I'm nervous to go up and talk to them?
Yeah, man. I think the first time I got to meet Sam Hunt, I was really excited because I'd met a lot of people like in Nashville, just being like in the scene for a couple of years, going out to, you know, the industry parties. You run into different artists and everybody, the community is so small, but I had never met Sam. And I was actually at a 4th of July like party. I got invited. We have a mutual friend and his buddy was like, yeah, come out to the thing with me. And I was just at his house and got to meet him for the first time, but looked up to him, you know, as a songwriter and an artist forever. So like I was a little bit starstruck and just excited to finally check, you know, that off my list.
Well, it's funny because obviously songwriting, and I would say that you guys, especially when you were first starting out, had a similar sound.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was super into that, you know, new like, you know, 2010s country that was kind of changing it up, you know, and bringing so many new flavors from different genres and everything. And I'd say he was one of like, you know, the flagship for that in country music, you know, definitely Sam Hunt. So I was kind of, you know, modeling myself and my style a little bit after that. And I was obviously a huge fan of everything else from, you know, hip hop to pop, rock, whatever's on the radio. I just listened to it, you know, and I'm still a fan of all types of music. So he was definitely one that was in that kind of same lane and bringing those new flavors in for sure.
Yeah, dude, that's a wild time. You think about that era. Now, I want to go back to when you were here last time.
Mm-hmm.
And I would typically say, hey, what's the craziest thing a fan has ever asked you to sign or whatever? Yeah. But you had an old classmate that showed up to that show.
Yeah, dude. It was wild. I hadn't seen her in forever. We went to middle school together, and I think maybe she was around for a year or two of high school. I can't remember what she said, but she moved away and hadn't seen her in forever. I looked down and she like had an old yearbook from school and stuff. And, you know, we both thought that was just so wild. And it was good to catch up with her. And I'm glad that she got to run into you and you got to experience that whole thing too.
That was an experience.
Definitely. Definitely. And yeah, I hope she's doing good still. And it's always cool to see a familiar face and see somebody supporting you, you know, from back then.
Is that the craziest thing you've ever had to sign?
Probably.
Your
yeah.
yearbook?
I mean, that's a good thing. When people ask me that, I'm going to be like, my middle school yearbook that a friend of mine brought that I hadn't seen in forever, and that's so funny. Like this,
you go back and like tell your parents, like, guess who I ran into?
Oh, I told everybody. I mean, everybody that I went to school with were like, no way, bro. Like, you saw her, she came to your show. I was like, yep.
Yeah, it wasn't stalkerish. No, not at all.
Not at all.
not at all. Well, you have a new single out, "Better Than You Left Me," and you're gonna play it for us here. But before we get into that, you co-wrote the song.
Yes, sir.
What's it about? What does it mean to you?
It's kind of just similar to the single I'd put out before, "Ain't Missing You." Everybody kind of calls this the like brother of that song or like the cousin of that song because they're so like, you know, similar in the I guess it's a toxic relationship moving on, but they both kind of come from a different angle of that. This one is more about, you know, you are in a situation where after you have been through this, you know, tough, rough breakup, trying to get better, you're finally not just like finding somebody new, but you're doing better for yourself. You're taking better care of yourself. You're in a better mindset. And, you know, now that you're with a better person, that person's getting you as a better version of yourself than you were before, you know? So it's kind of has a little double meaning. And we thought that it was cool listening back to it that you can, you know, kind of have everything from, you know, your new person, but also you're working on yourself and doing better. And yeah, I'm just excited about it, dude. It feels so fun. Ever since we wrote it, the demo, everybody was like, put this on the record, you know, they loved it. So I'm glad that we finally cut it, and now it's at country radio.
It's crazy. So when you get broken up with or you break up with somebody, what do you do afterwards? You grab a drink, you play a song?
Yeah, I think I go back to, you know, the nights with the boys, getting out there, grabbing a drink, having fun. I mean, yeah, music is always amazing. That's the one thing I feel like as a creative, you know, you go through something like that, you got to find a way to turn it into a positive. So there's definitely a lot of songs and ideas and stories that you probably wouldn't feel otherwise that come out of it as well. And when I wrote this song, I wouldn't say it was a true story yet, but I think I was like the person looking to be that guy that's in the song, you know? So I was finding my way there. And yeah, dude, I'd say I'm doing a pretty good job right now. I'm feeling good about life and everything's good. And
yeah, you're in a great spot,
exciting.
Dude.
Yeah, dude. So it's cool, man. I'm really, really excited for this year and what's to come.